Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinker and Medarot, and this is the Medarot News Network 4-year anniversary special, here live, up to date, and one-to-one with all of you in real time as we cover the news. Honestly, guys, I can't believe that the MNN's made it this far, and just, wow, I honestly can't believe at all I've made it this far. It's just for so long, so many episodes, so many consistent weeks, so much coverage and breakdowns and everything like that. It's wow. It's it's been a journey. I can put it that way. It's been lots of ups and downs, lots of learning, lots of friends made in lots of places across the board, from extremely influential to even just even on the lower end, just starting out as well in the world of content creation. And it's been wonderful every single step of the way. I've enjoyed every single episode I've put out, every coverage, every breakdown, every explanation of what's incoming and everything like that, and my internal thoughts, and even just some occasional one-off episodes or special episodes every now and then. It's been really special, and just to kind of prelude us up and get us started before I do start with the coverage, I do want to take a minute and say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, that you guys have been here with me the whole time. Some of you may have been with me from the very beginning, some of you may have just joined early on, but it does not matter to me. It's been wonderful being able to be that dedicated voice of your Western Medarot news, meta news, essentially, West, for the last 4 years straight. And yeah, it's just been really, I can't put into words, honestly. I was getting kind of giddy in the last couple days, last couple hours actually, just kind of prepping for this and making sure everything was where it needed to be. Kept my hand extremely close to my chest on what I was preparing to celebrate for that and what I wanted to put together. And even if I couldn't quite understand or quite have an idea of what to expect with the news, because I get the news same time everyone else does, I'm still very excited for it. And while I will admit, I was kind of hoping that they would have stalled on a collaboration for at least one more week, but I won't complain too much, because it still means it's going to be just as exciting as any other week, of course. And I'm also very excited to be able to have the news with you guys one-to-one as a stream, so I can talk to you guys and we can kind of hang out and talk about it, as I'm kind of delivering the news and what to expect in this. Looking at my chat is here as well that I do have on the side. All the wonderful, heartfelt congratulations. Thank you so much, you guys. It's been absolutely wonderful being able to get that voice. And I'm definitely not slowing down anytime soon. I'm excited for year 5 and beyond. Now, the only question I have to ask myself is, how am I going to do it again? How am I going to outdo myself the next time for my 5th year anniversary, But, I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. That's what I did this year, anyway. Anyway, moving forward. So, as far as the news is concerned for this week, as you saw, it's going to be a very exciting week as far as Meta S and Medarot as a whole is concerned. We do indeed have a Volume 2 of a previously well-known collaboration with Medarot, the Full Metal Panic collaboration officially joining the scene, and with that come the original models and Medaroters, and just a handful of brand new faces joining the fray. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week to kind of start us off with the meta news. And do make sure you stick around till the very end as well for some wonderful other additions I want to highlight as far as the channel is concerned, and just a couple other things closer toward the end after I cover all the news. So do make sure you stick around for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with that officially with the gotcha banners of Meta S and who to expect. Now, as I go ahead and carry on with that, I'm going to step to the side real quick because we do actually have 4 banners incoming this week. The first of which is the first of the new faces that is joining the Full Metal Panic collaboration, and that is FMP03 Kaname Angel, with a mostly new kit of Cleanse, Shake, Bomb Hammer, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Stand Form. Now, I must admit, I'm actually not super familiar with the Full Metal Panic series or a handful of the characters, but I do have some brief knowledge and understanding of the overall premise and some of the more iconic characters. And Kaname here, kind of taking the visage of Kaname Chidori, who's one of the main female protags of the series, definitely kind of stays in character, especially with that foldable fan she has on her right hand. Just to kind of cover the new skills though, briefly, Cleanse is a new skill being added, which is Conceal and Stat Cleanse at the same time. So not only are you able to completely nullify and cleanse any negative ailments across the team, but you're also able to apply a stack of Conceal to them as well and make it just a little easier to dodge your graze and keep your damage on the down low as long as that effect remains active. Shake, the other brand new skill that Kaname Angel is bringing to the party, is another dual skill being introduced, which is Blow Away and Confusion. So not only will you basically be rattling the enemy with a nice metal fan to the face, but you're also going to be pushing them away from you to give yourself just a little bit of a hand in crowd control and enemy placement if you're able to time it right. Just do be careful though, as pushing the enemy away from you does also mean that you may run the risk of accelerating a cooldown phase accidentally, so a little bit of caution is advised if you are planning to do so. On top of Kaname Angel, we are also seeing reruns of the original 3 Full Metal Panic collaboration models as well, and that is starting us off with FMP0 Kashim Lest, with Commander, Survivor, Pile, Biped Legs, and Holy Grace. FMP01, I did mistype that there, I do apologize. Urzatine, with Buff Trap, Power Rifle, Wide Break, Biped Legs, and Double Edge. And FMP02 Silbelial, with Precognition, Mega Gatling, Railgun, Float Legs, and Fortress. Now, when the collaboration first came around, these models definitely hit the scene with both feet running, with a lot of very powerful skills that they brought to the table. Kashim Lest for first introducing Survivor into the game to nullify the healing and cleansing game, if you are able to successfully outrun the target. Silbelial for a relatively solid all-around auxiliary support shooting coverage, especially with the introduction of Precognition, but Urzatine definitely took the cake that first run with the leg ability of Double Edge. And even in today's current competitive meta, it is still a fantastic leg you see in a lot of very high comp teams, with its wonderful leg ability and just the kind of specs that it brings to the table. Plus, the ability of Buff Trap is really nice too, for the ability to kind of keep enemy buffs on check, and just guarantee that if you're not allowed to use any buffs, they aren't either. Now, additionally though, all 4 of these banners actually have the same boosted rates across all 4 of them. So as I'm going to go ahead and step right back into frame here, and we carry on. The boosted rates for these 2 models are a couple of very iconic ladies that started hitting the scene here fairly recently as well. The first of which is SPG-0 Steam Gunner, with Colonel, Giga Gatling, Shotgun, Biped Legs, and Assault. Now, Steam Gunner actually is an Ori meta that was first introduced in the Reloaded Sai manga, and officially made their drop in Medarot S just in the last year or so. So, wonderful design. I'm not biased, I promise, but still a wonderful all-around coverage shooter if that's what you're looking for. Additionally, we also see a boosted rate for VRG-0 Virgo from Medarot Navi, with Gunpowder Guard, Double Charge Plant, Wheeled Legs, and Shape Memory, who also is capable of transforming into a literal puddle, yes, you are looking at that correctly, with a kit of Guard 500, Double Melee and Shoot Trap, Sea Legs, and Fortress. Now, Virgo in particular is definitely going to be a really big sought-after model this week, because she is one of the big 3 of the game when it comes to defenders. The other 2 being Jackal and Basalt, respectively, for the wonderful damage reduction that they bring to the table for any role that you are in need of a dedicated defender. Wonderful kits across the board. Even if Virgos is overall very support or passive oriented, the defense is most of what you're going to use her for. So, like I said, all 4 banners this week have both of these as boosted rates, so it does not matter which one you go after. They're going to be wonderful additions to any team they are put on. That being said, though, moving forward with the Fierce Battles of this week, as we start off a new month of June, it's going to be a very heavy heavy emphasis on support this week, or a lot of very niche or very conditional type of skills that, when used correctly, can be absolutely catastrophic or really turn the tide when the pedal hits the floor. That being said, on this top row, we're starting off with SPW-0 Sprytooth, with Hold, Hammer, Sword, Biped Legs, and Spearhead. Alongside that is SPN-0 Float Spinner, with Melee Trap, Anti-Air, Anti-Sea, Float Legs, and Emergency. And RBT-05M Chrono Rabbit, with Beam, Guard Boost, Shoot Trap, Wheeled Legs, and Auto Charge. On the bottom row, we're starting with GTD-0 Daichenko with melee guard, missile, gatling, tank legs, and heavy arms. HWK-0 Fly Falcon with triple napalm, flight legs, and assail. And everybody's favorite dog type, DOG-0 Cyan Dog with triple rifle, biped legs, and clairvoyance. So, like I said, lots of very heavy emphasis on auxiliary or support this week as far as skill coverage is concerned. So it doesn't really matter which one you choose to go after, because at least all of them are going to have at least one part that is very useful across the team in one form or another. That can be either as an auxiliary or a support skill, or even as something a little more for early DPS for the new or starting out players that are still trying to put their libraries together. Ultimately, I do have to give MVP of the week to Cyan Dog, primarily for the reason that triple rifle, non-heavy no less, is a very wonderful piece you can put just about anywhere and not have to worry about having to worry about heavy limit or power output or heat cool. Very well-rounded parts you can use just about anywhere. Everyone else also has wonderful parts as well. Spry Tooth for your general melee coverage for females, Float Spinner for your anti-air and anti-sea coverage, Chrono Rabbit for kind of your all-round versatility and auxiliary support. Daichenko definitely will be kicking up some bonuses though, with tank legs with heavy arms for all your heavy users, and melee guard also is really nice to have if you're. Fly Falcon as well for gunpowder napalm is nice, especially if it does damage head parts thanks to the Silent Leader ability being able to flush them out faster. So, like I said, lots of wonderful parts that can be used here, all of them very solid across the board, so it doesn't hurt to farm all 6 of them just for the sake of having the parts, but Cyan Dog is definitely going to be the goodest boy you want to shoot for as far as the MVP of the week is concerned. Now, there also was another really big surprise that was introduced in the gacha banners going live this week. Now, we had the introduction with the first 9v9 when that row battle mechanic was first introduced of a step-up paid banner. And to explain these are actually quite simple. They are paid exclusive banners, so unfortunately you're not able to use any freebie rubies that you farmed over the course of the game. But this does mean that anything that you pull in this is guaranteed to be pretty solid. Minimum 3-star part or better, which is obviously going to be nice. But the big step up here is the fact that if you make it all the way to step number 5, which is the topmost, you are guaranteed point blank one of the 3 OG models. So that can be either Kashimless, Urzatine, or Silbalile at random if you make it all the way to the very top of the step up. Now, I didn't get a chance to report on this when we first saw the step up banners introduced, but it does also actually have a counter, which means you can pull from this more than once. It actually has 3 resets essentially before the banner will close. So that is 3 full step-ups of 5 banners each that you can pull from to pull up on some very solid and very dependable pickup-based parts that you may or may not see in the regular pool, if at all, thanks to just how big the banner has gotten over the course of 5 years. Friendly reminder, once again, this is a paid banner only, so you will need to purchase rubies either from the in-game shop or from the online web store in order to participate in this specific banner. Now, I do like to suspect, though, that this will be sticking live until the very end of the collaboration. It will be early next month, as standard rules for collaborations apply. So, that's not something you need to shoot after right away, or even need at all, if I'm being completely real with you. But if you do choose to invest a few bucks every now and then on the web store, which is the most consistent place if you want to make any purchases for the game and put it into your game, that's definitely the best place to do. Now, as far as the Medarotters are concerned, though, the party is still continuing with the reintroduction of the original 3 collaboration Medarotters and 3 brand new ones that are also going to be joining the fray as far as this Volume 2 of the collaboration is concerned. So just to kind of review the old ones first, which will be the 3 from the middle right going to the far right as well. The original 3, Arase, armor will not fall below 50% for 1 attack, and also get a passive speed mobility bonus once that effect is activated. This honestly made it one of the best Medarotters of the bunch because this even can tank Metaforces extremely well. So if you're wanting to make sure that the next incoming attack is going to be as painless as possible, even if it is going to be hurtful, this is going to be a very nice life insurance policy that you can put use of on any Medarot that you choose to equip it on. And the fact that it also offers leg mobility is extremely nice too, as something you can use basically anywhere with free flexibility. The OG Hisaki will also boost your damage dealt by times 1.5, but at the cost, you take double damage until the effect expires. So basically, you're shedding the armor to go full glass cannon on purpose, and sometimes that extra 50% bonus will definitely come in handy when it counts. But at the cost, if you do get punished, you are going to be really feeling pain. And lastly, OG Ibuki boosts power by 200, and the next hit is a guaranteed critical hit. So also very solid for your specialized nukers as well, that if you want your hit to be painful, that is definitely the way to do it. As far as the new Metarotters are concerned, though, between Iku, Kazuto, and a new outfit for Hisaki, that's definitely where the game's changing as well. Medarotter Iku as well offers a bonus of plus 30% to power and an extra 50% on top of that if you are using sea legs. Now, we've actually seen a handful of Medarotters that offer this kind of bonus before, so it's not really anything new per se, just a little bit of a spice in another direction. But the sea legs definitely does make it rather interesting, and does make a rather interesting allusion to what we might see of the incoming models over the course of this collaboration to June. Kazuto will offer you a damage reduction of 10% and an additional 10% on top of that if you are using a support skill on your turn. And unlike most other skills that typically tend to behave in a contrasting fashion, his skill will also last until attacked, which means that at the very minimum you are guaranteed a 10% damage reduction that sits there until the enemy attacks you. That can be as long or as quickly as it ends up being, and sometimes that 10% may be just what saves you from getting something broken. Not always the case if something is extremely powerful, but definitely better to have it than to not. Lastly, the alternative outfit for Hisaki is a boost to success and power by 50% and a 50% boost to crit rate on top of that. So it's going to be extremely painful once that skill activates for the next attack drawn by that Medarot. So lots of very wonderful skills between the OGs and the news this time around as far as the collaboration is concerned. So if none of the bots in particular over this collaboration particularly tickle your fancy, the Medarotters are definitely going to be something you want to shoot for as well. At the very minimum, you want to try to shoot for the OG version of Arase, because that's SR ability and the mobility bonus that he offers is pretty hard to argue and pass up on. So something just to pay attention to. However, Kazuto also offers a pretty solid skill as well in this category. You want to go after the new ones. Now, as far as events are concerned, though, kind of tying into the big thing that's going to bring the Full Metal Panic collab into fruition with Meta S, it is going to be the first wave, most likely of 3 or 4 over the course of this collaboration. This event will have the opportunity for us to earn the Wrestler Medal, which is a brand new medal with a mastery in melee, shooting, and support, and leg masteries in biped, multi, and C, which will make this a wonderful medal that you can use just about anywhere with some fantastic coverage. And with it being a sniper nature medal with that purple crystal there in the image, it does mean that's going to be very heavily reliant and synergetic with your CG reliant nukers. So Charge Blade, Hypercharge, Buster, Ghost, Ghost Shot, and so on are definitely going to be a lot of skills that can make good use of this medal extremely. Additionally, we can also earn the first of numerous profile banners we'll likely be seeing over the course of this collaboration, and of course limited monthly gacha tickets that start us off on the beginning of a new month, kind of rinse and repeat as it is through previous months as far as PvP and online competitive is concerned. The event itself will be score attack, so pure sets will be encouraged across the board in order to farm those bonuses. Score attack, honestly, is going to be the very easiest of the event types as far as farming them is concerned. You simply farm your way up up through all the levels up until the very last one to earn points. Every handful of points at a milestone will give you rewards. So basically, you can farm as far up or as little up as you want, and you can honestly earn the medal and the banner and call it a day, and no one's going to stop you. So it is a very easy event, something you can honestly let run on auto after you've farmed all the dungeon levels. So just something very easy to keep in mind. As far as bonuses are concerned and who's offering what, essentially just consult the previous slides as far as Medarotters, the Fierce Battles, and the Gacha banners and boosted rates are concerned for who's going to offer the best of those bonuses across the board. Naturally, the collab models themselves will be offering the highest bonuses of them all, or closest to the highest, and anything farther than that will basically just trickle on down. Now, of course, in standard collab fashion as well, we're also getting a new Super Invasion featuring a Konami Angel as well, as you see here. And of course, they're rerunning the original Full Metal Panic collaboration as well. So that's basically 20 free rubies and 2 profile plates on the on the table here for players to pull. And these are honestly some of the easiest when it comes to Super Invasions, because of the fact that they're basically just overclocked enemies and nothing more. So you can basically go in with your strongest and best team and sweep it extremely easily and walk away 20 rubies and 2 profile plates richer. Now, if they do choose to offer any specific rules or any specialized modifiers, more than likely it might just be something akin to, say, like an HP or a damage bonus, but really nothing to argue one way or another what it will or will not be. Now we're also getting a handful of new skins that will be going live as far as the collaboration is concerned as well. As you see here, Konami Angel will be getting a swimsuit style skin, as well as Kashim Lest and Urzaton will be getting Jet Boost skins that are going to be added to the in-game store as well, with a handful of rubies each. And just as a friendly reminder, those rubies do also count as paid rubies, so you can use them in the step-up banner if you choose to go after that as well. Additionally, we also see a rerun of a very popular tickets mechanic that was introduced in previous collaboration, as you see it by that top square. Basically, in the previous collaborations, especially with the Digimon one in specific, they introduced a paid ticket that you can purchase in the in-game store that, when used on the specific banner, guarantees you, point blank, one of the 3 models at random. So much like the step-up banner does guarantee you one of the 3 models at random at the end of the step-up, this is also a very easy way to guarantee you one of them as well. So if you ended up missing out on the first collaboration and really wanted to get a hold of them, this is a very good opportunity to make use of as well if you really want to try to bank and guarantee that's going to be one of the 3 and not anything else in between. Needless to say, again, it is worth mentioning that the skins are also entirely optional. You not need them, and if you do purchase the skin but do not have the model, I am unfortunate to tell you that it does not mean that you get to use the pieces. It's just going to sit pretty in your library until you get them. So it essentially proves as an incentive more to collect the model first and then get the skin, more than get the skin and be possibly misunderstood that you didn't quite, when you're wondering where the model went and why you didn't have it. Now, something else to mention with Meta S is, as far as my anniversary is concerned, that's one of the big events. The Full Metal Panic is one of them, but we also have a birthday coming up as far as the official Medarot channel is concerned. Leah Lila will be celebrating her debut and birthday here pretty soon, and to celebrate that will be a specialized banner with boosted rates for all 3 of her forms, between Freeze Shot and Thunder Shot, between Suction and Tornado, and even going to a Hyper Tornado and a Hyper Freeze Shot, I believe, or Hyper Thunder Shot, I believe, with what she brings to the table, and alongside the fact that the original Leah Lila model also has TP on it. So if you really enjoy the MetaTubers and want to add a very nice one to your party, if you want someone who can bring good ailments to the party, you really don't have to look much further than Leah Lila. Additionally, they did also highlight that there will be some extra paid bonuses for her in the in-game shop as well for her as a Battle announcer, and a couple of song singles that she put out, and of course a couple of daily login bonuses to celebrate her birthday closer to the actual day itself. Now, as far as PvP skins are concerned, as we're moving right along here, it's going to be really exciting as we see the introduction of 2 brand new skins also going live with the month of June as well for the online exhibition. This month we see the release of 2 brand new skins and 2 rerun skins. The brand new ones, of course, are Lightning Styles liveries for both Musketeerado and Savatalis. And now the Lightning livery has been something they've been doing for quite some time now between Cross Messiah and Cross Z with the alt skins and just a handful of others. But I gotta admit, these 2 look really, really have that kind of a Golden Thunder theme that's going on for Savatalis, and that kind of Black Thunder theme for Musketeerado. I really, really like that, and I've honestly been an open advocate for seeing more cosmetic skins like this in Medarot S, essentially since the launch of when the cosmetic skins first went live. So I love seeing all the different types and renditions and approaches they can choose to do with these, and every time a new month comes out, I'm excited to see what kind of alt skins that they introduce and just what they bring to the table with that. Alongside those 2, they're also rerunning the Hydrangea style Attractor skin, which was a event skin, PvP skin from last year, and they are also putting the Teru Teru Bozu skin for Kanahachi Mach 2 in the skin shop. So if you ended up missing out on it last year, this is your chance to get it again. And I really love the fact that over the past several months, they've been adding a lot of those alt skins into the skin shop as well. So in the case of new players that joined recently, or even those that missed out on them for various reasons, have a chance to kind of go back and pick them up a second time or collect on parts that they missed out on. So I love that they're doing it. So I'm excited to see the lightning styles hit the scene, and especially when I get to see them on the models when the patch does go live. On the topic of skins, though, there is also a new skin shop tab coming soon as well. I did not exactly get the confirmation on when exactly this would be going live or what all the details would be, but essentially they're adding a brand new tab to the skin shop in the convenience store that has exclusively all of the previous online exhibition skins that have been run or rerun through previous months and previous years. So if you're able to get a hold of this new diamond or emerald currency that you see here, you have the opportunity to redeem the online exhibition skin of your choice based on the list that's offered. No telling on if the shop is going to cycle skins out every month or couple months, or if they're going to just dump all of them there at once, or even telling how exactly they're going to introduce the this new currency as well. Most likely, I suspect it'll either be like an event reward or even like a paid bonus or something similar, but that's just my observation on it, essentially, before the update does officially go live. So lots of very exciting things coming to Meta S just in this week alone, not even touching on, of course, my 4-year anniversary and Lila's birthday and everything else. It's going to be a very exciting week and month of June, especially as far as Medarot S is concerned. But that is not where the fun ends, however. With Meta S, it's going to be just a little bit quieter on the back end as far as new stuff is concerned. It's just going to be a Phase 2 refresh for the Evil Rex and Sarashina rewards. So if you're already used to that already and kind of know exactly what they bring to the table, just to bring you up to speed, they did introduce a brand new minigame event for Meta Survivor with Evil Rex, and that is the Meta Speed King minigame that has been in the game, that has been around since Medarot 4. Which is basically just a tap-the-button foot race against an opponent, and essentially, if you win, you get rewards. So I love how they implemented that into Meta Survivor, honestly. It's a really nice little casual mini-game, and I hope that they do introduce that and continue to use it in the most likely, it's going to be, again, same thing for Sarashina this week, as far as everything is refreshing. So, like I said, nothing brand new this week, aside from everything being refreshed and reset. So if you've been making use of Meta Survivor, this is going to be your downtime week as far as enjoying the game and just kind of playing it on casual in favor of enjoying Meta S just a little bit more and making use of the collaboration. But that is basically all the game-related stuff that was introduced. Like I said, lots of very exciting things as far as Meta S is concerned, and Meta Survivor just kind of keeping in its own lane right now with the refresh of the Phase 2 for its current event. But as far as the community is concerned, though, we are always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, cleaning, Japanese, and have some time on your hands, or if you know somebody that might be, this is definitely the best place that you can reach out to and ask about that. Right now, with current progress being put toward Medarot 4 and the Medarot mangas, the mangas have been kind of put on hold for a very short time. Not necessarily due to anything with the translation project or progress, but if you still would like to help with that, we are appreciative of any efforts you're able to. Furthermore, if you do not know of anybody that might want to help, or if you do not possess any talent yourself to do so, that is perfectly fine. You are also welcome to donate to the cause with a crowdfunding to a variance crowdfunding in the comments below as well, where you can donate and we can commission to have those lines of text translated on our behalf. So the more lines of text that are translated, it means a lighter load on the translators and makes life just a little bit easier on their end. So really all they have to do is focus on typesetting and so again, you're more than welcome to reach out to me and ask. You can join our Discord community as well and talk about it, and we can certainly get you in touch with the right people. But this is not the only news as far as Project Rising Beetle is concerned, because they too are celebrating with me as I celebrate 4 years of dedicated meta news coverage. The other big surprise, I talked about this last week as it was revealed just early before that week, is the new set of emotes that was introduced for the Project Rising Beetle server. All hand-drawn by yours truly through a template that I was able to pick up and work on. Yes, this took me about 2 weeks to work on, and I nearly lost 3 of them when Clip Studio Paint decided to not save the project properly on me. That was a headache and a heart attack and a half. But no, 42 brand new emotes here, as you see, all based on popularly requested models to celebrate and keep the community together. So I honestly had so much fun putting all this together, seeing all the different template expressions and what they could do, and just kind of trying to translate that into the Medarot format as well, because especially with a lot of ones that have smiley faces or expressions with a mouth, it was kind of hard to do all those, so I had to focus a little more on the body expressions when I was doing a lot of these, such as, say, with Blossomale with the floaty ghost there, or Anzudo Beetle, or Leolila with the sippy cup. Honestly, I had fun doing all of them. They were so much fun to do. I love keeping you guys engaged with that, and adding all those. Essentially, it was my gift to the community as well to help celebrate my 4 years, because if it weren't for all of you guys helping keep the community together and keep talking about it, bringing people in and inviting people to take part and join, I wouldn't have anything to talk about and cover for you. Like, I could talk about breakdowns and Meta Survivor and Medarot S and breakdowns all day, but realistically, who'd be listening? Who'd be watching? So I have to thank you guys with this as well, and this is just one of the ways that I'm giving back to you guys to celebrate and say thank you for your dedicated support over these last 4 years. So I have been seeing these emotes being very thoroughly enjoyed over just the last couple weeks. They've been implemented alone, so I am extremely happy that they're being enjoyed and used. And maybe if I can slip a few more in there, I might do that in the future as well at some point. So I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I am glad that you guys are liking the emotes. Like I said, lots of fun putting them together, and use them in other places. Any place that you're able to use these emotes across Discord, have fun with them. That's really all I can say. Continuing on with more news for Project Rising Beetle, as a friendly reminder, the ongoing Ori Meta contest for this community is still currently ongoing, with a duration date between the 6th of May and the 1st of July. So we're officially down under the 30-day countdown before this contest ends. We only have a couple of entries in it so far, but I am really hoping to see that spike over the next couple of weeks as I start seeing lots and lots of new entries added in there. And I even put imposed a challenge for you guys when I had Sane on my channel for that first collaborative arts Ori Meta stream. And I said if I could see at least 20 entries in the contest listing submissions by the time that the contest ends, I will bring Sane back on and we will go over all of them and decide on a winner together. Or groups of winners, I should say. That being said, the top prize is personalized concept art drawn by yours truly on stream. I will take the design or designs relative to how many are submitted, and of course I will draw you guys personalized and a specialized art of the design that you came up with to celebrate as your award for winning. And the theme of steampunk, just to kind of tie it and celebrate my 4-year anniversary as well. It's a very creative theme, a very mechanically inclined one. I'm really, really happy just to see the few designs that we have in there already. I'm hoping to see more by the time that... Now, as far as streams are concerned, since I did allude to it, your boy is going to be very busy over the next week or so. And I have to admit, I started putting out feelers for this in the last 2 or 3 weeks now, so a lot of these are just now getting back to me as far as coordinating and confirming for it. But I didn't quite realize how close they were all going to be together until I started putting the dates down. I'm like, oh no, I was really hoping for a break, but apparently that's not the case. But no, I'm very excited for it. The last few collaborative Ori Meta streams I've held with some dear friends of mine, Zane, Sunny, Emeraldo, Grim, were all wondrous successes. I loved the interaction that we had, being able to put a design together, not just the two of us, but also actually creating an engaging environment with the chat as well. Just kind of talking about a little bit of everything here, there, and everywhere. So I'm very excited to do that, and I'm wanting to host more of those. So if you are interested in collaborating with me and hopping on the MNN, of which there is always an empty seat here at the desk, I am more than happy to coordinate with you and try to make something happen. So as you see here, I have a lineup here all through this next week. I would have another fellow tinkerer of mine, Mint, joining me at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the 12th. Well, actually, three of these will be next week. Mint will be on the 12th. I'll have Helm Chan returning to my channel on the 14th, 2 days later, also at 7:30 Eastern Time. And I have another very dear friend, Escardus, who will be joining me for the very first time, much like Mint, Also here on the MNN for a collaborative Ori meta stream on the 16th at 7 o'clock Eastern. Gotta love them time zones, guys. I just love them. And then, of course, my dear friend Ruben, who, just to kind of go on a tangent here, I believe the birthday boy is celebrating through this week as well, so wondrous happy birthday to you, my guy. I'm very excited to have you on the channel with me here on the 25th of June at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I have given all of them the same assignment, much like I have previous guests on my channel. For the Ori Meta art streams, they will be playing with the random Medarot kit generator, come up with about 3 or 4 designs that they like best, and bring them to showtime. We'll decide on one and just collaborate together to make it happen and visualize it. Like I said, it's been a wonderful success so far, and I've loved doing it. I honestly... I've actually wanted to do more gameplay videos in the last while, and I've actually talked about which ones I've wanted to do, but realistically, I have a lot more fun doing the art streams, so I would love to do more of those. And like I said, if you want to join and participate in those, absolutely reach out to me. My DMs are always open for that reason, and we can absolutely make something happen. Let me see, just gonna touch base on my chat again here while I'm working through things. Smede, I do see you on there. Thank you so much for coming in. Lord of the Losers, Hub, Ruben, it's so nice to see you. Like I said, Micro Mouse, Current and Mint's the same stream. Yes, we've been cooking this up for just a hot minute now, and I figured, having 2 Tinkers in the same stream, much like I did with Emeraldo, is definitely a very fitting theme. Just kind of alluding to the assignment I gave them, one of the other contingencies is that they do not show me the results of their prompts until showtime, so I don't even know what we're going to be designing until that night, and I did so on purpose to guarantee that we're going to be having a good time, not having a chance to pre-plan on any of this, and just enjoy the time putting something together. So I am very excited for that. I'm excited for all 4 of my guests that are incoming over the course of this next month, 3 in very, very quick succession to each other. And of course, Ruben there at the end. I'm also very excited for what he's going to bring. Now, there is actually I do have another guest that will be joining me live next week, just for my regularly scheduled meta news coverage. I have not decided if I'm going to stream that coverage or if I'm going to pre-record it yet, but I do have a special guest incoming for that specialized coverage alone. I am not going to tell you who. You guys are just going to have to figure it out and cook it up on your own, do some theory crafting, and try to figure out who it could be or just what exactly it could be, and I'll just have to see what you guys come up with. But no, it's going to be a very busy June for me, as you see. 4 different Ori Meta design streams and 1 guest host for next week. Your boy is going to be very busy, and I'm excited for every single second. On the topic of art, though, if you are indeed looking to have some art done on the side, not stream or unstreamed, I am also open for art commissions. So if you are looking for any live 2D VTuber models ready to rig, 3D models with the works, fully rigged, model, textured, and everything, I can do emote bundles, as you see here, just a handful of the ones that I've done, or even detailed art as well of varying degrees. I do just a little bit of everything. As you see here, I've honestly been having a lot of fun with that, and I've also been theorying and tinkering a lot with overlays, so things that people can use for streams or for banners or things like that. I've been kind of experimenting with that as well with a couple of people, and I like to believe that they came out really nice, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to add it yet unless people explicitly ask. But again, as you see, I do just a little bit of everything. I just, of course, will not do any NSFW or core, so trying to keep things clean on the channel, but I'm always happy to put something together and make it happen for you. DMs are always open for that very reason as well, so do not hesitate to reach out to me if you're looking for anything, or even just looking for quotes as to what you might be looking for. Well, but with that aside, though, that basically does cover all the news as far as all the stuff that's incoming with the channel, with Project Rising Beetle, Meta Survivor, Meta S. That's basically everything. So it's going to be a very exciting week, like I said, between everything that's going on. And I'm excited for every last bit of it. And I was so excited to be able to showcase that my new channel OP and putting that together. I actually had a freak out for a while because I didn't think I'd have it ready in time after having to basically start it over from scratch after like 2 weeks out. So I'm glad I finished it on time. But now one of the last segments I want to do for the channel, since I'm doing the live coverage, is I want to keep you guys involved in the engagement as well. I know I've been doing a lot of talking, but I want to put the floor to you guys now. So kind of like what I did last year, I believe, with the anniversary of with the 3rd anniversary of my channel. I'm going to open up an AMA, and I'm going to kind of give the floor to you guys to kind of swamp me with questions. we can just take a few minutes now and just kind of talk about all those and just kind of see what you guys want to ask me since I'm on live and on with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up here and pull my little paper out, and then as you guys start putting questions on there, I'm gonna give you guys just a couple minutes while I step away here briefly, and then I will be back in just a moment while I'm checking on some other things, and we can go over some questions. So hit me with those questions in the chat, and I will put all of them down, and we can go over all of them. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and step back into frame now. I just had to check a couple things on the back end. I'm officially back. Let me see here. First official question of the AMA, as I'm talking at the same time. After 4 years, what am I most proud of? 4 years of the AMA. What are you most... What am I most proud of the MNN? Honestly, there's just so much that I could say, because I've made a lot of different milestones on this channel, and everything I put together or done for my coverage or explanation. It's kind of hard to pick because there's just so many things. I mean, I could say that I've successfully covered every single Medarot in the game, Medarot S to date. I've done all of them in very thorough detail. In fact, I do also have the video coverage for a Kaname Angel already finished and recorded. I will be posting that, and it will be going live relatively shortly after I go off the air. So I do have that all set and ready for you guys as well to look at in more detail. I could say that. I could say that I've been working on the beginner's guides and all the tutorial videos, walkthroughs for Meta S to kind of walk people on how to play it. I could pick that. I think one of the big crowning glories I could probably think of for my channel that I had the most fun doing, and one of the biggest reasons I started the channel to begin with, was my What is Medarot collaboration that I had back in November of 2024. I had some wonderful guests with me on there for some lively and very engaging discussion across several different platforms that all funneled into my channel that evening for basically a nearly 4-hour introduction, thorough introduction, I should say, of everything to do with the series. Timeline, to the development patterns, to the history, to the mechanics, and where it's been. And honestly, I have to say that's probably one of my biggest crowning glories and one of the biggest things I'm proud of. Being able to speak with a lot of developers and artists on it to get my information, having my guests on there as well to talk about it and everything. I'd say that's one of the biggest things I'm proud of. But there's just so many different things I could mention, honestly, and I have to say that's definitely one. But there's lots of things I could say. I'll go ahead. Let's see. Total breakdown. Analytics breakdowns. Honestly, I think something else I'm going to throw in here as well is just the connections that I've made over the last 4 years as well. Because while it started very small on my channel, doing just a handful of coverages with a PNG, and definitely not one of my best work, but you know, the first of everything is never going to be like I said, the connections. I've made lots of friends in lots of different places through the content creation world. Lots of different tidbits and tricks that were taught or passed along to me, mentioned. Things I even shared with them as well. Lots of friends made. It's just been wonderful. It's been absolutely wonderful. I've made some wonderful friends over these last 4 years of me being a content creator and a VTuber. Starting as a PNG tuber, going into VTuber. It's been wonderful. I've loved every step of this journey. I've said that more than enough times already, but I just can't stop emphasizing it. It's just one thing after another of just non-stop great things. In fact, I even mentioned it before, once before on my channel, at least once before. Okay, Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week because I get to talk about all the stuff that I enjoy and basically just go nuts about it, and you guys just have to sit and listen. I'm kidding. No, it's great because I get to do what I enjoy most and bring you guys along for the ride, and you know, share like minds, share like opinions, just kind of create some discussion on it. And with the introduction of streaming to the channel over the last year and a half, with the art and with the gameplays and everything, it's been nice being able to branch out and do just a little bit of connections on here as well. As just kind of the biggest things I'm most proud of with the only real thing I could think of that I'd love that would happen is if I could finally be formally recognized. The closest I've ever gotten to that was with the Ori Meta contest the official channel held a number of months ago through Medarot Day for a Meta Survivor, and a handful of designs that I submitted for the contest were featured on the official live stream, and a lot of the comments through Mr. Unohei's comments and streams were talking about overseas Medarotter. So I was really excited for that. I was so happy. I just really wish, and I would love to be formally recognized, essentially. So I could talk about it more freely and actually know I have support from the official channel, the official developers, doing what I love most with people that's, you know, to kind of help spread their word and, you know, just bring the meta news public. That's all. So that's what I appreciate. Next question I have on here. Based on all your coverage, do you think Medarot S is slowing down? How do you feel about the collab versus original designs? What is the biggest hurdle caught you by surprise during when I started the M? Work on those. Do I think Medarot S is slowing down? I'm actually going to cover these as individual questions. Versus original designs. Spell correctly. And biggest hurdle early on. Oh. Alright, do I think Medarot S is slowing down? Honestly, I'm going to tell you no. Because, speaking from experience, having played several other gacha games in the past, and a handful of them still, and speaking with friends of mine who are also playing other gacha games, if a gacha game can last at least 3 years, typically 3 years, and that's kind of the typical lifespan for a gacha game. 4 to 5, you can milk it if you really keep it going. But the fact that Medarot S has gone 5 years straight with no hint of slowing down, I feel is a great positive to it. The collaborations definitely help with bringing people in from other interest fields, such as with Transformers, Full Metal Panic, EVA. It's nice to be able to kind of bring the community together of all of these different circles and genres of mecha. So that definitely helps a lot with keeping the game alive. But I believe that's also kind of a double-edged sword, because if you have a ton of collaborations back to back to back, then people kind of grow sick of it after a while, because they start to associate Medarot with making friends with other people, and that kind of takes away from what makes Medarot so great. So I feel it's kind of a double-edged sword, but with the original question of do I think it's slowing down, I'm going to say no, because if they decided to have a goal of introducing all of the models that they had 3D models for at some point between Medarot 7 through 9 and even Girls Mission, they're still missing a handful of them. So even just by that count alone, we have plenty more weeks and even maybe a good couple of years to go. But even without that, I'd also have to include the Orimeta contests that are introduced to keep things fresh. So not only do they have to constantly reach out and have their own artists develop new stuff in-house, such as with Horimo Rin or Mr. Agro or Tiyuga, but also reaching out to other really big artists or even having fans design their own contests. That's what definitely keeps everybody involved, is the chance to see their designs be made of. And I am 100% for that. I do kind of wish they'd be hosting more contests through the year. Maybe like 1 or 2 contests a year or something like that, even 3 maybe, because I have noticed, as far as pattern is concerned, they'll maybe host 1 a year, and then it takes like another year before those models actually get implemented typically. So I'd love to see more fan contests like that, because if they were to say stop making all brand new designs and they stop collaborations, just complete cold turkey cut them, and they just start hosting more fan contests, and they pick maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 designs from each contest to be made official bots, that could very easily keep the game going. Very, very easily. That's just my personal opinion. So, like I said, big answer is, I'm going to tell you, is no. Game is nowhere close to slowing down. That's my opinion. And if other people feel differently or want to approach from a different angle, I am absolutely happy to discuss that as well. This is just my thoughts and my feedback on it. Let me see, another one. Collab versus original designs. This would kind of tie into the other question you had on if the game is slowing down, especially with collabs are concerned. I think a lot of the designs that they do with the collabs are very nice. I'm not going to say that they're original, because, I mean, like, if they make a Medarot of Optimus Prime, then it's kind of hard to make it original without it looking like Optimus Prime. So your thematic elements are kind of obvious with that one, and it does kind of take away from the creativity, aside from the fact of how to chibify it. So I can kind of get that. I still love seeing the designs, don't get me wrong, but I have to go very heavily on the original design, because it gives so much more freedom to what the artist in question is trying to interpret, whether that be with the theme or with the skills they're trying to put together in a kit. There's less of a thematic requirement, I guess, when putting something together. It's like I tell other friends, especially those that are that I've had on the MNN with the art streams. I can tell them, yeah, we have, say, like, we have several different cat types that are official Medarots. We have generic cats, we have panthers, we have cheetahs, we have even moggies as well, and just a handful of others as well. So there's like 1,000,001 different ways you can all interpret the same thing. In fact, if I even did for the next contest, if I said I want you guys to develop, I don't know, trains. Let's just say if I did trains, okay, steam locomotive type is the motif for the next contest. I could give you guys that as your theme, and if 30 of you submit entries for that contest, I'm going to see 30 different approaches for how someone would design a steam locomotive type Medarot. And that's what I love about it. That's something that I've always loved about this series, is the originality of taking the same concept and interpreting it different ways. So I definitely have to say original for sure. And the last question you had for me, unless other people want to start asking others, is the biggest hurdle I had early on. I have to think about that one. I think part of it would also be just having to learn what all goes into making a video and posting it to places and talking about it. That'd be part of it, I guess. I could also say that my skill and execution in public speaking was probably not where I wanted it to be, so I wasn't super confident in my skill to do that. I could use both of those as answers very easily, but I think the biggest hurdle that I've had, and I still struggle with this even now, is the level, the standard of quality that I want to give to all of you. With my coverages, with my deliveries of all my coverages and my breakdowns, there's a certain level of quality that I just will not accept anything under. And that usually means that if I have to improvise or figure out something like that, I'm either not going to stream it or do it until I actually know what I'm doing, or I'm just going to improvise midway. And it's frustrating on my end because I want to make sure I give you guys quality video. I don't want to just throw something out there and say, yeah, well, this one's okay. He's, he does this and that, and he's not all that great. He's not fast. He's bulky. Got good power. I could say that all day long. And in fact, if I did that, I could honestly crunch my breakdown analytic videos to like 1 or 2 minutes, like all of them, even the ones that have brand new skills. And realistically, if I were to do that, what would you learn? I wouldn't have the chance to properly explain how exactly something works, especially if it's a brand new mechanic or a brand new quality of life that's being introduced. I want to be able to take the time to explain it and understand it so that you understand how it works or what it does, because that's what my channel has always been about, is answering things and teaching. I love teaching. I love teaching people, whether that means 3D modeling, content creation, art, or anything else like. I love teaching people. So even if some people may say I kind of start rambling after a while, I do it out of love because it's just something I enjoy doing. So yeah, one of the biggest hurdles I had early on was just kind of figuring out that that level of quality I'd want to deliver as a standard, and then just kind of improvise from there. Like even with streaming, with my outro and my intro and everything else I do in between, I even said, I'm not streaming unless I have like an outro and an intro on there. I'm not just gonna jump into the stream and say, hey, welcome, thanks for jumping in and playing. I'm not gonna do that. I want to give people time to like, come on in and play around, get comfortable and chat with them for a little while before I actually do. Because if I'm just rushing to play the game and I bring you guys along, that's gonna give you guys whiplash, and I don't like that. I'm not gonna do that to you. So yeah, biggest hurdle early on, I'd say, is myself. And for lack of a better term, I'll just say my perfectionism. I guess I can call it. That's the best answer I can give. So, myself. I'll just say that. Myself. Because I'm stubborn like that. If I'm not going to deliver something of quality, then I'm not delivering it. That's just the easiest way I can describe it. Let me see. If we ever get another mainline game, what are things that you'd want? Things I want to see in new mainline. Let me see. Bad Yikes says, congrats on 4 years, practically new to MNN, so I don't know if this is a broad question. What are some of the most exciting pieces of news that have covered over the most exciting pieces of news? Okay. So things I want to see in a new mainline game. Honestly, that's kind of hard to describe, because the best answer I could give is if they use Medarot 9, say, as a template, that's already off to a really good start, because even if they said the story, the plot of Medarot 9 was full of holes and kind of hard to follow, they said the gameplay and mechanics to Medarot 9 were basically spot on, and were well designed and well rounded, so I love that they were able to do it. So I'd just say I could use Medarot 9 as a template, but I would love to see... coloring. I'd like to see the color chips and filters mechanic that was introduced in Medarot S. I'd like to see that introduced in an official mainline game again, because that was actually a feature that was implemented in Medarots 3 or 4, one of the two, where you could actually put a color filter over top your model to personalize it a little bit. Now, granted, it was just an RGB filter, but still, I would like to see that introduced or reintroduced into a mainline title. With that, I would also like to see the cosmetic skins, much like they've been doing in S, in a mainline title as well. Because, and I've said this before in my What is Medarot stream, realistically, the cosmetics, the color chips, and the cosmetic skins, those are things you'd see in real time if Medarots actually did exist. Like, you could buy 100 different Metabe bodies, and no two would be the same if you were just to let a garage kit basher just have a heyday with all 100 of them. So I'd love seeing that, and I'd love to see that in another mainline title when they do release it, with a eventual Medarot X or Medarot 10 or whatever, however they choose to know. So that's one thing I'd like to see, is the skins, color chips. What else would I like to see? I'd like to see the tactical RPG battle mechanics from Medarot Navi come back. I'd really like to see a Navi remake or a Medarot X using that style of robot. Because I think they could have some real fun with that. And even if they choose to not use 3D models the whole time or go through like a whole 3D field, I think they could really have some fun with using that, especially with all the tactical RPGs that have come out since. So they have lots of source material they could pull from. I'd like to see that. Let me see. Yeah, Navi style. Yeah, honestly, it's hard to say because there's just so many things I could think of if you gave me time that I'd want to see. But those are definitely two of the really big ones that I'd want to see, because a lot of people say that Navi was definitely one of the very experimental games, but it was kind of hard to experiment with it because they only used the tactical RPG theme once and then like never again. So it's kind of hard telling how well it came out unless they try it again. But I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the skins and color chips added to the game as well, because that'll add a whole level of personalization with the game and kind of make the game a little more cozy as you're running around and playing with the models. Oh, I know something else I'd like to see. It's the following companion mechanic. They did this in Medarot 9, where your starter, which would be either Juke or Manjiro, follow the playable character Tenma through the course of the game. I would love to see that come back. I had so much fun, even just running around the overworld, watching them follow me. I do wish that whoever your number one slot would be would accurately reflect it when you're putting the parts together for your overworld companion. That's just me, but I would love to see that come back. I love that mechanic so much, and I loved it. Absolutely adored it. Let me see. Most exciting piece of exciting. I mistyped. Most exciting piece of. Like I said, honestly, that tie back to the first question with one of the things I'm most proud of. So the first of which I'm going to mention is my What is Medarot collab. Just being able to kind of break the entirety of the series down, and just kind of talk about things that Western audiences perhaps never even knew existed, or perhaps some alternative views and commentary from developers. So I loved being able to do that, and I'd still to this day call it one of my crowning glories for the. If I were to suddenly graduate in the next, say, 6 months, and I won't, Lord forbid I do that because I want to continue giving you guys the news. That would be one of the biggest things that I would hit up on the channel as one of the best and most iconic things my channel has ever offered. That's my thoughts on that. The other thing I'd have to mention would be news of the lawsuit finally reaching the settlement a couple of years ago. The TM lawsuit declaration. Because I know a lot of people were wondering about that for a while, with what exactly was going on with the Metabot's name, and we haven't seen anything for a while, and what's been going on. I was really happy and excited to talk about that and tell people, yeah, the war is finally over, the guy's gone, but for the most part, we just have to wait for Imagineer to finish settling everything and put all their ducks in a row. So I'm very excited to hear about that. It's been relatively quiet as far as the lawsuit is concerned. And Imagineer has stayed very tight-lipped about it on purpose, because much like many other Japanese companies, they don't like to air a lot of dirty laundry or business like that, especially when lawsuits are. So more than likely, you probably won't hear anything until they actually settle for good, and it's officially been processed out of the courts, and they can write a small article saying, yeah, we did this, it's dealt with, it's settled, but we're just keeping you in the know. So I'm waiting for that big news to officially confirm for a fact, yes, it's done, but as far as the general consensus is concerned, the courts did side with Imagineer, and they do own the rights to the Metabot's trademark in the EU and in the US, since they combined both of the suits. So that's the short answer anyway. That's of a very, very long answer. Let me see here. I'm really interested in hearing what it was like to cover certain topics for the fandom in real time. Thank you for answering. Model SAT Celestial. Navi was the first metagame I played, not in English. It was a fun time. Yeah, Navi was fun. You just have to make sure that you understand what you're doing and how to play, since it doesn't play like other games, but it was still a lot of fun. Happy 4th anniversary, Kura. iPad autocorrect. Back at it again today. Gotta love it. Gotta love autocorrect. That's always so fun. Iron Clark, we have 8 more seasons in a movie before you're allowed to graduate. I'd love that. I love that mindset and that gusto. I'm gonna milk that for a while. But yeah, as far as there's meta news to cover, I'm not going anywhere. I can guarantee you that much. I can guarantee you that much, is as long as there's stuff to cover, I'm going to be covering, and I'm going to be talking about it with you guys. I would like to start doing some more things that are not Medarot related on the channel, like gameplays and let's plays of games again, much like I did with Dark Cloud 2. I've actually been debating doing a Zelda title here sometime in the future, just to do a let's play to keep things running. I just haven't decided which one, because I'm debating between three different titles, all 3 of which I could play very easily. I just haven't decided which one because they're all good. So I'll have to figure that out and keep you. Only play the games with Solon in them. Ignore yes, definitely. Solon and Bayonet definitely do need a lot of attention. They've definitely been on the sidelines for far too long. So seeing a Medarot game where it highlights them either as starters or even as early models that you can collect early on, I'd love that. Just to kind of give them more attention where they. Dinnick III passing real quick to say happy 4th anniversary, Kuro. Thank you so much, Dinnick. I love what you do as well on your channel with your wonderful music covers. Definitely give Dinnick a follow as well if you'd like to see those, because he does some amazing stuff on his. Medarot covers is just part of it, but lots of other things he's done as well. So definitely give him a follow. Absolutely love hearing updates and seeing stuff that he. But yeah, unless you guys have any other questions for me, I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes to look at that and just kind of figure out if there's anything else you want to ask before I do wrap this up. But yeah, honestly, it's been very fun. I've had a very enjoyable last 4 years with delivering the meta news, even when things were really, really tough for me last year and a half with my job hunt and my previous employment really not giving me hours despite me pestering them to. It was just one thing after another, and being able to deliver the meta news was just kind of my way to escape it for a while and just kind of do something that I enjoyed and know that it was being appreciated. So I was really happy for that, and I'm just really happy to do that. No plans to stream playthroughs of old Medarot games like the Medarot S, like the MetaTubers have been doing. I've thought about that as well. I have very seriously thought about it, like doing the English patch for Medarot 3. I've been thinking very heavily about it. I was debating maybe doing something like doing something for maybe like for Navi, kind of like what Lord of the Losers did on his. Even playing Medarot 9 possibly, maybe figuring out how to get Citra up and running and do something like that. Or I believe I could probably also do Duel or Girls Mission well if I can do some tinkering and figure that out. But yeah, I have considered doing Medarot titles as well. I just haven't thought of them as a priority just yet, because pretty much everything on my channel is Medarot related anyway. And with the streaming, my original goal was to try to use it as a way to kind of branch away from it for the most part and kind of offer another outlet. So like if I do the art streams, I could do those. When I did the Let's Play of Dark Cloud 2, I had that just to kind of enjoy and just kind of unwind with. But yes, I am absolutely planning to do gameplays of the Medarot games, English or non-English. I just need to figure out the back-end details and just kind of work it into a schedule. As you saw, it's going to be a very busy week as far as next week and a half as far as stuff is concerned. So I'm excited for that. I just haven't figured out when yet. You guys just have to keep an eye on me on Twitter or on Blue Sky or whatever, and just kind of keep up to date with me on that, or even just ask me. If you just DM me and say, hey, are you doing anything this week? I might come back and say no, or I say yes, I'm thinking about this. See it on Twitter in the next day or so. No, I feel like I'm very easy to approach in that respect, so literally just ask. And then if you have an idea for something you want me to do, I'm open to it, and then see what I can have, see what I can make. Like I said, I'm open to a lot of stuff. I want to try to branch out and do a lot more, especially with the collabs. Like I'm doing a lot of game collaborations on my channel where I have some guests stop in on my channel. I've also been guesting on a handful of other people's channels. My friend Emeraldo had a repo stream just a few weeks ago, and I guested it over on their channel for that as well for my first time playing blind playing repo. Very fun game, by the way. Highly recommend it. And definitely going to try to bring some people on the MNN to play that as well. Anything is you kind of need to speed up for the old games, or else it will take you forever. Yes, I definitely know how that is. So that's what I'm saying. Like I need to kind of figure out how I want to go about and approach doing the games like that. Medarot R is another example. I'd like to try maybe do that one again. And if I do run it on an emulator, of course I will have the speed up option if I want to use it. like I said, it's mostly just details on the back end I want to figure out before I actually declare it as an item. So yes, I am thinking about them. I just haven't put them into practice yet. That's all. Let me see. Currently trying to obtain a JP3DS to play 8 or 9 legitimately. Had no luck with setting up 3DS emulators in the past. Honestly, I'm gonna be real for a sec. Like when I tried to set up homebrew on my US 3DS years and years ago, that was a headache and a half trying to put it together. Especially because those consoles were region locked, and it took a lot of effort just to try to figure out how to bypass it. And then when a new firmware update comes out, you have to basically relearn the process over again because homebrewing was just so bad. And even the emulation with like Citra or whatever was extremely glitchy at best. So it was a very difficult thing. So I definitely understand where it's at. I like to believe that Citra has definitely gotten better over the last couple of years. Definitely cleaned up a lot, especially now that the 3DS servers are down and really don't have any competition. I like to believe they probably cleaned it up a little bit. So definitely something to keep in mind. The fact they added built-in fast forward in the collection tells me even the devs knew. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely something to appreciate. Yeah, I got a JP3DS a year ago. Medarot 9, pretty fun. Yeah. 9 was very well loved. Even from my Japanese friends who commented, said that the mechanics were very well put together. And even up to the very last days that the 3DS servers were up, they were hosting online tournaments non-stop. So I definitely am wanting to try to do something like that eventually. Like I said, I just have to figure out when. But yeah, I'd say that honestly would kind of do it for the AMA unless you guys have any last minute questions. I'll kind of give you guys just a sec to figure that out real quick. Kind of making sure everything. Okay, so yeah, I think I'll go ahead and call it with the AMA for now then. Boy, my voice is wearing out from talking for like an hour straight. No, but no, I've been enjoying it. I've really been enjoying it. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I've also been thinking, and I actually want to throw this you guys' way and see what you think. You guys can comment that in the video if you see this late after stream, or you can comment on it in the Discord server as well. But I'd like to maybe try hosting live streams for the meta news coverage every now and then. Kind of do it beyond anniversaries or birthdays or whatever. Maybe like every now and then when they host a collaboration or something, I could do a live stream coverage of that or something similar. I don't know, but if you guys do want to see more live stream coverage and kind of talk about it all together, I want to hear you guys' thoughts about that. So, like I said, you don't have to tell me immediately, but leave us a comment, reach out to me on Discord, or do whatever. Just kind of mention it or see what you think. That's all. It's just kind of ways I can tailor my experience to kind of make it more enjoyable for you guys. Let me see. Who would win? 100 gorilla Medarots or 1 Medarotter? One Goryongo versus 100 humans. Okay. Oh, we're gonna go into that discussion. Oh, I've seen that meme floating around. I knew it was an ep. I mean, let's be real. If you look at Goryongo, he's got little buzzsaws built into his arms, if I recall correctly. So, or even just then, he's still super fast and punches really hard. So I really don't think that's going to be a really big issue. Plus, there also technically are the 3 laws of Medarot. Technically, there is also that working against him. So I think that's kind of self-explanatory, but no, it would be really interesting. Mother got me not only a JP-DSi, but also both versions of Medarot DS for your birthday. Nice. That's definitely that's definitely a nice gift. I'm actually really happy that when they released the OG Switch at launch, that they did not put a region lock. And that honestly meant that you could buy a hard copy of the Medarot Classics Collection Plus and play it on your US console without any problem. I love the fact that Nintendo did that. I'm so happy about that. I really should get myself a copy of the Classics Collection eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Money's still kind of tight for me right now while I'm still working stuff out with my new employer. 1 Goryongo versus 100 Chin Pets. Okay, so that one's going to depend on if the Chin Pets attack first or if Goryongo attacks first. Because, reminder, Chin Pet has cross attack and cross attack set and release. So if he has setup time, even if Goryongo kills like 30 or 40 of them, the other remaining 50 to 60 will still have the ability to fire off and hope and pray that at least something hits. So that one I have to argue. But anyway, Adike says, yes, wait, you can do that. Yes, you absolutely can. That's actually why 3DS homebrewing on the 3DS was such a pain, because you had to bypass the region lock, so you could play foreign games. But with the Switch being having no region lock, you can play region lock, or I'm sorry, I can't use region lock. That's the wrong term. You can play foreign games on the console because there is no region lock. So like I said, you could go on Amazon.jp and order a copy of Classics Collection Plus Kabuto and play it on your OG US-based Switch, and it should have no problems. Now, you will understand what the game is saying because it'd be in Japanese, but yeah, you can absolutely play it with no problems whatsoever. Switch collection is costly, but I've enjoyed my copy a lot. Yes, and like I said, I've been debating getting one on my own eventually. I just haven't gotten to it. But yes, it is absolutely something that you can. But with that aside, I'm going to go ahead and put my side here. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the AM. And with that being said, I am going to go ahead and officially wrap us up here as far as my coverage here for the MNN is concerned. So just to kind of summarize it again, we do have the Full Metal Panic Volume 2 collaboration gracing Medarot S over the course of June. We seeing Kamane Angel first dropping with the first week with the OG3 models. Lots of very exciting bonuses also going live with that. Meta Survivor is going to be relatively quiet with the second half of the Evil Rex and Sadashi Nahime event, so nothing really to report there. And of course, the celebration of my 4-year anniversary. So I am so happy to be able to do this for you guys. I've had such fun, and thank you so much for celebrating with me over these and supporting me over these last 4 years. I'm excited for year 5 and beyond, and being able to continue delivering the meta news, and even bringing some new friends on the channel as well through collaboration, and helping spread the love of Medarot around with new people that join, or even returnees that stop in every now and then. I'm excited for that, and what the future of the channel does entail. That being said, if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page, or the Metabots Forever community that I do also run and manage, which, friendly reminder, is currently over 43,000 members and still growing by the day. So I'm shocked that still actually is continually growing by the day at this point. I'm so surprised at it, but I'm proud of it at the same time, despite the fact I'm also the only admin that's running that entire page. Anyway, moving on. There's also Discord. You can follow us at the link below and provided if you'd like to join us there, whether that be for any of my detailed coverages, streams, news, art, contests, or anything else the like related to our favorite pet fighting robots. That is the first place you're going to see the news before it goes anywhere else on the net. So definitely join us there to get your news straight from the source. You can also follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, or Discord as well at Isagami Kura. So if you have any questions, feedback, comments, suggestions, you want to ask me something, or if you want to possibly collaborate with me here on the episode, I would absolutely love to try to make something happen. So definitely reach out to me on any of those platforms, and we can definitely try to make something happen. Lastly, aside from following my official channels both on Twitter and on YouTube at Isagami Kura and the Medarot News Network, do also give your support to the official channel as well at Medarot, where I get all my news from straight from the source. That can be either on Twitter or on YouTube or anywhere else. That's the first place that I get my news. So if you want to get it straight from the source, that's definitely the best place that you want to follow it as well. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in for my 4-year anniversary and continual support and encouragement, just as you always have. And until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.